Hey y'all, this is Treacherous Slayer coming at y'all with another video. And before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now y'all, today we about to get into episode 2 of Squid Game. And let's get started. Now, the episode starts off with the aftermath of all the players getting Raggedy Ann at the end of the last episode. Now, as the remaining players catch their breath and wallow in depression, Ji-hoon thanks Sang-woo for giving him the tips to survive during red light, green light. And he also thanks player 199 for literally holding him before he tripped and busted shit on his face and got, clipped and riddled with holes. Now, as they all continue to, sit in silence, the PlayStation Mask wearers emerge in the pink suits and they're like, congratulations on making it for your first round. Like, they all wasn't just fighting for their life. They're just growing through it. And he continues to explain to them. Now, he then explains the results. And then, we learn that there was 255 players that got clipped. And now there's a remaining 201 players left in the match. Then we see number 212 pleading for mercy and freedom as she says she has a child at home waiting for her. Please let her go. She don't want to play anymore. I'm like, yeah, especially after that. I mean, I low-key want to go home too, because I was like, look, I didn't sign up for all this. I thought this was just a simple game of red light, green light. Like, what the hell is this? This is not making any sense. And then as she drops down her knees and begs for mercy, the other players begin to join her plea for freedom as well. And this Squid Mask look like, okay, hold up. Now y'all not acting like y'all didn't sign this clause and pretending y'all didn't know what y'all were getting yourselves into. Like, he said, y'all clearly misunderstand. Like, y'all ain't going nowhere. Y'all signed the consent form and y'all staying put. But then as they all start to lose their minds, Sang-woo brings up clause 3 quickly and says, wait, if all players agree to end the game, we'll end the game, right? And then the Square Mask's like, yeah, y'all had to put it to a vote. He then says, before y'all think and solidify your decision, here's how much money y'all can win. And then we see the translucent pig rising from the air again, and we see all these stacks of rackets building up in Miss Piggy. Now, as they all look up, since we learned that there are 456 players in the game, like in the beginning overall, before they play that deadly game of red light, green light, the prize money is actually 45.6 billion won to win. Now, 212 asks how much they can get if they stayed in the game and everything, and that's the amount of money. But Square Mask continues to elaborate and says, look, if y'all decide to vote out, 25.5 billion is going to be divided amongst the remaining loved ones of the 255 players who just got bopped and flopped in the previous match. And y'all leave home with nothing, basically, if y'all vote to leave and end this game and everything. And you tell this definitely changed the tone in the room, because player 101, he was looking at that bank like, yeah, all that money definitely finna be mine. And he was like, oh, forget what y'all I'm saying the hell here and everything. And a few other players agree too. So the voting process starts, and then they all have to choose either circle to stay or X to leave. So yeah, they all voting and everything, and it's turning out periodically 50-50 throughout it. And then once Sang-woo reaches his turn to vote, we see him actually vote to stay in, and then y'all can just see Gi-hoon's face like, I know damn well this ninja didn't decide to stay here, given all that we just heard. I guess he said 45.6 billion is not worth your life. Like, this is doing too much for some 45.6 billion. But I guess Sang-woo said, I mean, he is in 600 million won of debt, so I don't really blame him with that one. But Ji-hoon's just pissed. He's just like, I know damn well he did not just do that. And then we see a few players infighting, and 212, I knew damn well she was gonna switch up her thought process when she seen that money. All of them, they seen that money, and they was like, you know what, I'm gonna stay right here and fight for it. Let's see if I, this like winning the lottery, if I can win this lottery, that's it. I'm done and everything. So Then we see them getting a few players getting to a few spots, and like she said, it's hell out there, just like it is in here, but it's more worse out there. So what would you rather do? So she changed up and you put player 212. I was like, okay, that didn't take too much, and you just begging to go home to your child. I was like, so do you even got a child? I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna keep my eye. She seemed a bit Looney Tune, but nevertheless, we then see them proceeding to get into a scuffle, but then we see the Triangle Mask pull out a ta. And I was like, y'all need to stop acting like y'all ain't got no class and everything, and continue this election as, you know, prompted. Just continue to vote, and they ain't gonna handle no infighting, or y'all gonna be bopped and flopped just like those remaining 255 players. I was like, right, I better get y'all shit together, finish this voting process. So they continue the little mini election, and the result ends with 101 voting to leave and 100 votes to stay. Then we see some other players cheering in joy that they get to go home, and then the other players that wanted to stay are furious. So they're like, okay, let them bastards that want to go home, but let the ones who actually want to fight for a chance for that money to stay here. And everything. And then Squid Mask, oh yeah, okay, well, I'll do y'all one better. I'll give y'all another chance to contemplate on whether or not y'all want to continue this game or not. But it really depends on y'all and everything. So, as a result, y'all did vote to leave. So, majority rules. That was the plan. So, they get into it and everything. Then, next we see seemingly Jihoon and player 67 getting dumped off the road, abandoned and tied up. And then he helps player 67 get loose and like undoes her bindings and everything. Then they have a little back and forth whether or not he's gonna pursue her for his money back that she stole from him from the gambling he'd been doing, basically. So he does continue to hound her for it as she leaves him with his legs tied up. It just casually walks off like nothing didn't happen. Yeah, that was a very little funny moment between those two, because I'm like, sir, she ain't y'all literally just let the damn Squid Game, y'all voted to leave. You had the chance to win the money and you didn't really take it. So, like, that was your own fault. Then we see player 199 and Sangwoo getting dumped off to, according to Sangwoo, Yoido, which is the center of Korea. And he asked Sangwoo, hey, do you got a phone? Because I need to make some calls and everything. Then we see him pull out his phone, but obviously it's dead. So they go to a convenience store, and then he buys a charger and charges his phone. And as soon as he turns it on, we see his phone get spam messages about how he needs to contact these bill collectors and these debt collectors to clear out his debt and everything. So he gives it to player 199, and they have some ramen, and then he go makes a call real quick. Then they finish up their ramen, and then leave the store, and they have a little brief chat about where they're gonna go their separate ways. And then someone will ask, okay, look, do you have any money on you? Like, how are you gonna get home? You don't even live in Uedo, so like, what are you doing? How are you gonna get home? And then he said he'll walk, and he was all the way to Asuna. Like, no, I'm gonna give you some bus fare. And then he gives him some bus fare. He starts, player 199 starts thanking him graciously, like, thank you so much, sir. He was like, please, and Sangwoo was like, look, please don't call me sir, I'm not worthy of that side. I was like, yeah, but I'm gonna keep my eye on, like, what y'all think? Is Sangwoo really trustworthy, like a good person? But I'm like, obviously not, because he voted to stay in the game, so we should see how that turns out. Next day it rolls around, and we see Jihoon like telling the cops what the hell just happened to them. Like, they were all kidnapped and forced to play a deadly game of red light, green light, and the cops are looking at him like he just lost it, and he's just some crazy lunatic that just wants to get some attention at the moment. And he elaborates on, like, look, yeah, they literally knocked us out with knockout gas, and we were trapped in this makeshift playground area, and we had to play red light, green light, and the ones who moved during red light, they got clipped by, you know, the ta. And they just laughing at him like, okay, so you telling me these people kidnapped y'all and then just let y'all go? I was like, right, he do gotta realize how egregious those claims sound at the moment. So he just sit there like just consumed with defeat. He's like, oh yeah, y'all don't believe me? Then he pulled out the card and he was like, okay, call his number. And then the detective like, okay, I'll entertain this for a slight second. Then he calls a number. Then y'all, why these smart they disconnected the number, then have it traced to some random lady who was disgruntled as hell that the cop is prank calling her early in the damn morning, talking about, you want to play some damn games, go to the damn local internet cafe, don't ruin my beauty sleep. I was like, I know that's right, queen. And she hung up on her ass. Yeah, then he just looked at Jiyeon like, okay, you need to get your crazy ass out of my office, because obviously this lead isn't going nowhere. Then Jiyeon just cuts it out to the cop like, okay, like, I'll do this investigation on my own. So he leaves, and then we see a young detective looking warily at Gi-Hoon like, okay, what the hell going on with him? And then the cop was like, okay, just some crazy hobo guy or whatever. Then he eyes the Squid Game car skeptically that Ji-Hoon left, and then we could tell he's obviously intrigued by the car. So I wonder why he's specifically investigating like the car so intently. We then see Gi-Hoon exiting the station, obviously, and tries to call the Squid Game number. And obviously it's disconnected, so they weren't going to use the same number twice, so obviously that would trace back evidence to them, which is common sense. Like, he should have expected that. If they were so strategic in kidnapping them and planning that match in the arena and everything, they would definitely cover their tracks. So we see him quickly go to a local market, and he runs into Sang-woo, who's just apprehensively observing his mom because he doesn't want to face the fact that he's a failure at the moment. And Ji-Hoon tries to cheer him up, but like, look, you got to Seoul University, you in business, like, is it really true you in that much debt and everything? And he's like, well, you could work to pay it all off, like, you have the expertise to do so. And Sang-woo ain't trying to hear that shit. He's just like, look, leave me alone, and I'll talk to her when I talk to her and everything. And then we see Gi-Hoon getting a call, and apparently we learned that his mom got hospitalized since he was looking for his mom earlier, and he couldn't find her. And apparently she's severely diabetic, and if she's not admitted to the hospital, feet just look awful. Just overworked and underpaid feet. That's the definition of overworked and underpaid feet right there, y'all. And he said if she get admitted, she's gonna get her feet amputated, y'all. And Ji-Hoon's definitely not having that, but obviously how stubborn his mom is, she leaves the hospital, and he scolds her like, you need to stay in the hospital, like, what are you doing? You're in bad condition and everything. And she had to get a reality check like, you know how expensive these hospital bills will cost? Not to mention, did you forget you took all our money from the insurance policy and spent it on gambling? I was like, right, your dumb ass did gamble all that money away. You gambled your life savings away and your mama's life savings away. Like, how'd that work? Poor guy young, she don't even got a damn college fund coming from your end because your gambling addiction. Like, get it together, Ji-Hoon. Please get it together, sir. And then he just pleads to her, like, and promises that he is gonna get the money to help her and everything. Then as he watches her limp sorely away, it's just like so sad. I hate to see her so just overworked and not supported. It's just like so annoying. And we then see the young detective who seems to be investigating the Squid Game like lore more thoroughly. And we then learn his name is Detective Hwang. So Detective Hwang is obviously investigating his missing brother, who we learn when he's investigating his apartment most likely participated in the Squid Game. Because I was gagged. I was like, wait, another Squid Game car? So I was like, damn, I wonder if it was like a previous Squid Game or the current Squid Game that Ji-Hoon is currently part of. That would be insane, y'all. I don't know. I was like, which player number would he be if that's the one he's investigating? So obviously he already is caught whim to what Squid Game is, but obviously no one would believe him. And these game creators, they even thought about that. If people run to police, I was like, damn, y'all thought of everything, just strategic thinkers, but only if y'all use that knowledge for good and not endless slaughter. But nonetheless, well, he continues to investigate that, and we see him eyeing the car warily, like, okay, now he knows he has to go talk to Gi-Hoon to see what will be like the main location to where they're holding these games at and everything. We then learn that Player 199's name is actually Ali, and he confronts his ain't shit ass boss for not receiving fair wages and everything. And the boss like, look, Ali, look, I don't got no money, and you see I'm suffering through health complications at the moment. I don't got no money to pay anybody. And we see him all cleaned up, fresh, and watches and everything. And Ali sees an envelope of money and confronts him like, look what this place did to me. And we see he lost a finger working in there, and so obviously in a very underdeveloped work environment and super unprofessional. I'm like, they ain't got no safety clauses and no rules or regulations. Like, what the hell kind of place is that where you lose your finger? The ain't shit boss snatches up the envelope and tries to shove it in his jacket, and then Ali literally begging him like, look, I need that money, pay me my wages, you haven't been paying me ever since I've been working. I was like, oh, poor Ali. And then he continues to follow the boss downstairs and constantly like arguing like, look, give me my money, that's my money. Then the boss does the unthinkable. He does slap the hell out of Ali. I'm like, oh, it's a wrap now. He's like, Ali like, oh, you ain't paying me at this moment, I ain't got shit to lose now at this point. And they started going at it, and like he slapping him and everything. The boss slapped him, and Ali threw in a few 1-2s himself, and he like basically 180 slaps the boss, and the boss get his instant karma, gets his hand caught in the machine, and his fingers get ate the hell up by the machine, and he crying his blood and his bones crushing, and then the blood stained envelope, Ali glares at it, and his coworker like, Ali, you can't leave it. Ali snatched that in the motherfucking envelope and was gone out that bitch. I was like, I would have did the same thing, because who are you? Like, not you put your hands on me and don't think I'm getting my workers' compensation. Oh yeah, it's a wrap for you, sir. Sayonara, like, bye. Then we see player 67 confronting a man who seems to be like a loan shark or smuggler, since we seen previously that she was talking to her younger brother Kiol about getting him out of that orphanage, since those little kids was giving him hell about his parents abandoning him and everything. And she promises him like, no, I'm gonna give us some money and we're gonna go back to North Korea where our parents are and everything, and we're gonna be happy. I'm like, poor Kyo. I'm like, not the little badass kid somehow his parents ain't have, and we see his face was all bandaged and everything, and he had hands for everybody at that orphanage. I was like, I don't know, like, leave him be. It was just so sad. Like, so obviously we learn she has more to fight for than player 67, so no wonder she's well clever and determined like she is. So we see her having a meeting with this broker dealer, or like this smuggler guy. The money she caught from Gihon, she used that to pay the smuggler to get her and her brother back to their parents, or also reunite them with their parents. So I'm confused. I wonder if like her parents are in captivity as well. Is that what's going on too? Because he said he can only get them to the border since it's so bad and everything. So she's pissed. We can tell she's gonna pop off as he over here just greedily smiling like, well, it's gonna take a while for us to find someone who could really get this job done. So as long as you come up with another 40 million. And then I love this moment so much. She grabbed a big ass hot pot of coffee and threw it in his face, and then pulled out a blade across his neck and like warned him and snatched his head back like, look, either you get my parents back to me and my brother, and this is your warning, your last and final warning, and if you don't complete this request, you're gonna be seeing the pearly gates, in so many words. So he's like, okay, I got you and everything. So she let him go, and then he like wiped the smear of coffee that's all over it. Y'all, I was like, oh, well, you having the worst day, sir. I was like, I love her. I'm rooting for her. She goes back to the game. So we speed past that. Sang-woo calls his mom to check on her at her food stall. He's like, oh yeah, you've been working too hard. When you come back home? He was like, I can't right now because of work and everything. You know, making endless excuses. So she like teases him and tells him, oh, don't bring back nothing too expensive. Already gave me too much and everything. He was like, okay, and I'll keep you posted. And she said, I love you. Now he tells her he loves her as well. So she hangs up, and as she's bragging to a customer about how handsome her son is and how he's thriving in business school, y'all, the cops pull up to her food stall like, is Sang-woo around? And she like, yeah, my son, he's at business school right now. Why? And then it was like, the detective was like, he has an apparent warrant out for his arrest for fraud and embezzlement. I was like, not embezzlement. I was like, even though we all know this as viewers, but the mom just like listened to this and just disdain, like, oh no, not my good son. She's like, oh, I think there's clearly a misunderstanding. You have the wrong person. The detective continued to explain to her, okay, look, I understand that you love him very much, but if you see him or if he contacts you anytime soon, tell his ass to turn himself in or his ass will face trial. And then y'all, she just left there too stunned to speak, and the customer looking at her like, I thought you said your son was good. It sounded like he a whole ass criminal in these streets. I was like, the post on Woo Mom, she just left there too stunned to speak. I was like, damn, I wonder what they gonna do. So hopefully they don't close down her little shop, y'all, because that's how she make her coin. So we speed past that. Then we see Song Woo drinking his sorrows away, dressed in a suit, tub filled with water, just empty bottles all around, just wallowing in pity. And then someone's ringing his doorbell incessantly. He gets out and like, okay, who the hell is it? Like, I ain't got the time. And then they just slide the Squid Game car under the door, and then he grabs it and eyes it warily, and y'all can tell his mind already made up. He ready to get back in that match, because he like, I can't continue to go through this anymore, because I'm over it. Like, I need that money. He was like, he needs that money. And we see Ali like looking nervously out the window, terrified of his apartment, and then his wife and their child are in the back, and the wife's asking like, okay, what's going on and everything, like, Ali, where'd you get this money? And then he told him like, look, take this money and you book the earliest flight you can and get the hell out of here, and I'll explain later. But she's like, no, Ali, you need to come with us. And then he's like, no, I can't come with y'all at the moment, like, I got some shit to handle at the moment, so I'll meet you, just keep our baby safe, and I love you. And then she said, I love you too, and then they say their goodbyes. Obviously, we know Ali is definitely going back to the game, because he needs to provide for his family as the best he can. Now, we then see Jihan asking his friend that we met in the pilot for a loan for some money. Then his friend looking at him like, now, if you don't got money, what makes you think I got some money for you, sir? Because obviously, apparently, his friend is the owner of a pub, and we see the friend wife interrupting. Look, she like, Napion, get your ass back up in here and help me work and everything. Like, what are you doing? You can't be smoking outside. This is a classy pub. And then, like, his friend look at him like, look, I'm sorry, I can't help you. We can see Jion, like, reluctantly trying to hesitate to stay and still beg for more, but then his friend's wife checks him kindly like, yeah, you know it's rude to smoke in front of our establishment, so get your bum ass on. So he goes away and then lingers by a shop. And then y'all, when he's going to get himself a drink, he runs into the old man, Player One. I'm glad now, what his old ass doing at a convenience store that time of night? I'm like, sir, you need to be in bed and you got a whole tumor. Like, you need to rest, sir. So he chit-chats with Player One and everything, and then the old man basically telling him, like, look, I'm going back because I ain't finna sit here and let this tumor take me out, basically. So I'd rather be tortured than have a slow burn, transition. So Jion hears them thoroughly and everything. They have some raw ramen with some seasoning as they dinner, and he continues to chit chat with them. That's when Gi-hun realizes that he will join the game as well. We then see Player 101 meeting up with one of his henchmen and telling them, since we about to go back into the Squid Game and steal 45.6 billion from Miss Piggy, and how they need to bring guns and everything. Well, but to his dismay, his henchman turns on his good buddy Doc Soo. Turns on his ass and he like, look, yeah, you already owe the big boss, so why would we even report or listen to you? So he switches on him and sets him up, and then we see cars pulling up with like other henchmen basically saying they finna tear him up and sell his organs and everything, but 101 ain't going out without on fight, so he start poking up Doc Soo like a pincushion, and he literally finishes him. And then as the henchmen run up like, welcome to Korea, he jumped off the bridge, y'all. I was like, I guess he said survival of the fittest. Y'all thought that bridge was the quickest, y'all. I was rolling. I was like, damn. So one-on-one, even though I was a roofer, I'm like, but he a good villain. Oh, you gotta give it to him. He a good villain. We then see Ji-hoon asking his ex-wife for money. I was like, he definitely reached the point of no return doing that. And she asked him, like, okay, why the hell you asking me for money? Ain't you already in so much debt now? And you know, then well, my new Napion, he ain't gonna go for that. And she basically said, okay, you gonna have to ask my Napion for some coin, because I ain't got nothing for you. You know how that makes me look, asking him for some money for you? Like, what they do that at? I was like, right. I'm like, Ji-hoon, get it together, sir. You should have known what you was getting yourself into with that. And then the husband come on with the son and Ga-young, and Ga-young like, oh, I'm so cute. She like, Appa. And then the son like, Mama. And then they run to the house, and Napion looking like, what he doing here? I thought I told you not to let him in his house. I guess he said he ain't paying no damn bills, so he don't need to be up in his house. So we see Ga-young like look at the umbrella that Gi-hoon left, and obviously he came up with the excuse saying that he only came there to visit her, but then now that he's seen her, he dipping now. So as he's leaving a building, we see the new Napion coming out like, okay, here, take this money, and you promise if you take this money, you will stay away from this family. And then this causes Ji-hoon to snap like, that's my daughter. Then y'all, he right hooks him, and all the dollar bills just getting soaked in the rain. I was like, not getting drenched in dollar bills, y'all. I guess Gi-hoon, like, you can't basically use your money to basically sell me off, like, you gonna keep me away from my daughter. That's my kid, basically. Then we see Ga-young witnessing the whole thing. I was like, she was like, all like sadly. I was like, damn, she shouldn't have seen that side of him. She seen that whole his umbrella in disappointment, and he just walks away sadly. So we then see Detective Hwan popping up at Ji-hoon's place as Ji-hoon pops back up, and he obviously questions him about Squid Game, like, what do you know about these people, and where'd you get this car from, basically. And then obviously Gi-hoon is playing dumb and oblivious, like, look, I don't know what you talking about. I had a long day. If I already talked to other cops, y'all don't believe me, so here we are, so you have a good night. Then he just leaves Detective Hwan's son there, like, because obviously we know someone close to Detective Hwan has also participated in the Squid Game, so I'm interested to see how this plays out, y'all. Then as the episode nears its end, we see Ji-hoon finding a car by his door, so obviously we know he's going to call to enter the game since he needs money desperately to support his mother's hospital bills, and we seen her fee, y'all. She definitely need it. Now, we see all the other players like Ali and Player One all getting ready at their previous stop, since the card said, okay, midnight June 23rd, same place as before, and they all go to their previous spots where they're, you know, picked up at. And the episode wraps up with Player 67 as she's getting seemingly consumed by the gas. We see her, y'all, shifting away and moving down her sleeve and taking the gas for air, and y'all, the episode ends. I was like, damn, what's gonna happen? So yeah, I'm definitely sad for episode 3. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm really curious to see who wins. Like I said, my bets are still on like 199 and 67. Also Song-woo, since he's also the most driven, and Ji-hoon. So it's gonna be up and at it with those 4. Oh, and also Player 101, because he does have some villainous survival instinct. So this should be an interesting turnout. So yeah, y'all, this Game of Chance is definitely worth the 45.6 billion won for them, because I guess they said, look, it's already hell and they normalize, they're better off fighting through hell to win that cheddar. So yeah. Okay, y'all stay tuned for my episode 3 recap of Squid Game, because I definitely enjoyed this episode. I love the like backstory and storytelling, like, and we see each motive of each character, why they want to participate in the game in the first place. So yeah, I'm Treacherous Slayer, y'all, and I'll catch y'all later. See ya.